Okay, so next one has a ton of awards. Am I the asshole for having my wedding ceremony in sign language? I'm 24 female, deaf, and growing up, my parents got me bilateral cochlear implants and forced me into mainstream school. Never taught me sign language and never immersed me into my culture as a deaf person. They were actually pretty against me using ASL at all. Well, I took ASL in high school against my parents' wishes and then got into a deaf university. Although I couldn't sign fluently when I started, I finally felt accepted and understood. The deaf community was nothing but welcoming. I became fluent in ASL, and after a few months, I stopped wearing my processors completely as there was no need for them anymore. I honestly didn't realize how alone I had felt until I didn't feel that way anymore. Yeah, such a disservice to your child to not teach them ASL or not try to adapt for them. Like, that's basically saying, like, no, you're not good enough the way you are, and we're going to do everything we can to fix you.
Right.
So terrible. I met my fiance at college. He is from a very large family of deaf people. Everyone he knows, even in his far extended family, is deaf, hard of hearing, CODA or SODA, and everyone is fluent in sign. I love his family so much. We've been together 4 years now. He proposed last May. We've been planning the wedding and have decided to have it fully in ASL. The pastor at our church's deaf program agreed to do the ceremony. My extended family of hearing people is very small. Just my mom, my dad, my sister, my brothers, my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins. My cousin is actually learning sign. Whereas my fiance's huge extended family, who are all deaf or sign fluently, will be there, and most of our friends are deaf or know to sign. We decided to get an interpreter for the hearing people, though, so they'd know what was going on. Our wedding is in August, so we just sent the invites. The invite mentions that it will be in ASL, but we'll have an interpreter for those who are, quote, signing impaired, which is kind of just a joke. But my mom started texting me and tried to convince me that it should be in English and have an ASL interpreter. I feel like it's our wedding, so we should have it in our first language. And my mom thinks that we are in America, so English should be the first language. And anyone who doesn't choose to get cured, aka get an implant, should get an interpreter. She also said it was disrespectful to say signing impaired. I don't think she realizes the irony, as she always refers to me as hearing impaired. During the entire conversation, she kept repeating that I should never have let you go to that school. My mom also says that the deaf people should be used to having interpreters, whereas she's never had one before. So it will make it harder to understand. Am I the asshole here? Should I just have the ceremony in English? Because I guess that's what more normal way of communication, even though we consider sign our primary language.
Hell no.
Fuck that mom.
I think it's very, very cool. I didn't even think about that. I thought when you first started reading it was going to be all in sign language with no interpreter. Okay, then it's for the people who are there supporting you that want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And yes, I love it, are signing impaired.
Yeah, I think that's
so cool.
So cute.
Then it makes more sense, like, okay, and she said most of the people there are
also deaf.
It's just super cool. I fully support that.
I thought it was extremely clever when she did the
signing impaired.
The signing impaired. I thought that was extremely clever. I think that the mother really, I mean, this is obviously her wedding. The girl, it's her and her husband. They make the rule. It's their dream day. Mom, dad just got to roll with it. And I think it's clever and support your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, this just goes to show how her mom is very, very ableist and doesn't recognize her daughter's disability and doesn't want to accept her daughter's disability.
Doesn't want to accept it.
And tries to make her normal and everyone should get cured. Well, guess what, sweetie? Cochlear implants don't work for every deaf individual.
I think that her mother should go see the movie The Sound of Metal.
Oh, yeah, that one, it won some big awards recently.
Amazing. And when you actually see what this guy went through and how he finally decided and figured out where he's now comfortable and what his life really is and where he finds his solitude. And it's really is it. I mean, it's...
Some parents are fucking narcissistic, toxic, just terrible people though. And this mother, I cannot, if my mom said anyone who chooses sign language as their first language should choose to get cured,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, fuck you.
Yeah.
This is who these people are. This is a part of their identity.
As a parent, I do know one thing. You try to do whatever you can to have your children feel a part of what everyone else can do. And I think that in the beginning, when they went for the cochlear implants, their heart may have been in the right place.
Yeah, maybe. But I also think if your heart was in the right place, you should also do what's best for your child, which would be to learn some form of sign.
There's no doubt that the signing was a wonderful thing. And I think that again, maybe they were misguided. Maybe they missed the mark on throwing the dart. But I think their intentions were in the right place.
I don't know. I don't think you can assume that with this one.
Doesn't mean it's right. But I think that the fact that the daughter found her way, she found her way into this and she wanted to do it, absolutely that those parents are obligated at this point in time to support their child in whatever she wants to do and what's best for her.
Yep.
And that's where they're missing the mark.
Yeah. I think something you don't realize though, not all parents are good parents.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
I just think the mom's never going to get it. I mean,
no.
At this point, you just have to make these decisions for your wedding and not for your mom.
At the end of the day, I've mentioned this before, your wedding is for you. This is
That's
your
correct.
day.
That
Make it
is
your day,
correct.
you and your partner's day. And everyone else, if they have problems, can F off. And I think one thing I was thinking throughout reading this story where the mom is like, I'm going to be uncomfortable having an interpreter. It's like, imagine how disabled individuals feel in a world that is built for the abled.
Right. How, like, you have to experience it for one little day.
For a day, for a ceremony.
Well, if her mother really wants to really show her support, maybe she should go take signing language.
Exactly.
Learn to sign. Go learn to sign over a month or two, and
Which she should have done many years ago.
should have done.
absolutely.
Yeah, because cochlear implants, first of all, you can't do right away. They take time. And they're also very, very traumatic for those individuals that first get them. Your brain has to then interact with this device and it's
To make it all one again.
to make it all work and read the signals that the device is sending. So it's not like you get this cochlear implant, you turn it on and you can automatically hear and understand language, because language is a part of our brain that you only learn from exposure over time. It's that, that linguistic center.
So it actually tunes itself.
Yeah. So this poor little girl, this child went probably, how long not having a way to communicate with her parents. And babies can learn sign so fast. And watching like tiny little ones, like 6 months old, like babies that are deaf, you know how babies babble, they coo and they're blah, 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 and like babble, mama, dada. Babies who are deaf will actually babble in sign language. Yeah.
It's just learning another language. I
Yeah.
mean, isn't that the best time to also learn another
Yeah, they're
speaking language?
little
It's the same thing.
Exactly. They're little sponges.
Well, and think how you feel when you're in a foreign country, or even the first time you walked into a Spanish class and you don't know what's going on.
No. And I think to be deaf or, blind or anything like that, to have one of your senses completely removed, or just not, not working, not functioning. I think that is just, it's a tough world.
Yep.
The disabled community it's amazing and it's so inclusive. And so to hear her experience, like she was just instantly welcome in, is just so amazing. And it's like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that?
Right.
That's a
And
part
then
of you and your identity.
Having the ceremony that way is just it's like the perfect end card. It's the best way to fulfill your day. I mean, it's just the coolest thing.
I think so too. And I think it's, obviously what this couple finds meaningful and it's who they are.
I say bravo to her and him, and best of luck in your wedding. And
So OP gives some edits / like clarifications. She goes, I can't cut off my parents. I'm currently helping pay for my little brother to go to a school for autistic kids. We can't sign and speak at the same time. The pastor and my fiance can't speak. I can, but I choose not to unless I absolutely have to. Which,
Interesting. Got it.
yeah, because if you're deaf and you never get the cochlear implants, you don't learn the way that language sounds.
Right.
So you can watch videos on YouTube of deaf individuals that try to talk without, their cochlear implants in, or they never learned, but it's not how we would speak.
Right.
So then to like put someone up there on their wedding day and have them try to struggle, that's not their language.
Right. And that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
I've already said it. I think it's great what they're doing. It's fantastic. It's her wedding. Enjoy it, and let her parents just get over it.
So there's a lot of edits, and I'll keep going through them. My parents didn't only not learn ASL, but they explicitly prevented me from it while growing up. We lived in Austin, Texas, my whole childhood, and there was a school for deaf 10 minutes from our house, but they specifically said they would never let me go there. Sure, you still want to stick to they had their best intentions for their child?
Is this the same family?
Yeah.
Yes. The mom and dad explicitly prevented her from learning. Wouldn't let her go to a school with deaf children to where she'd feel included and inclusive.
Did they just think it was going to go away? Like, what's the
She was
logic?
cured. She had cochlear implants. She was cured. She's not like those other deaf children.
Oh, wow. There's just some weird pride issues. And
Toxicity.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Adding this later, exact words from the invite. Reception will be held in ASL. English interpreters will be provided for the signing impaired. I literally put it in quotations. The deaf community didn't indoctrinate me into not wearing my processors. I just started using ASL more and more. And then I needed a surgery to adjust the implant, but I decided to just not get the surgery and stop wearing them. There was no real point in it, and I didn't feel like getting an unnecessary surgery. Another edit, to those of you questioning and even mad at me for not wanting to wear my implants, you don't hear normally. Like a lot of people saying things like, don't you want to hear music or birds chirping? Music through cochlear implants sucks, at least for me. Even when I used to wear cochlear implants all the time, I would take them off to listen to music. And no, background noise like birds chirping makes it harder for the microphone to pick up other noises like people talking.
Interesting.
Even though, like, I think a lot of people think you get these implants and it's normal hearing. It's not. It's still a different world.
Yeah, for sure.
So you tell me I should get hearing aids sometimes.
You do need them.
And I look at you and I see there's not a chance because they sound like shit. And I'm sure cochlear implants are the same type of sound of that synthetic noise that comes through. It's not hearing. It's probably painful in a lot of ways.
It can be. Yeah. I've heard that cochlear implants can be very jarring.
Well, and that's her choice. She is at the point in the age where she can make these decisions. And if she doesn't want them, then that's cool.
Absolutely. Completely agree. Top comment, not the asshole, not even close. Why should the couple getting married need a translator to understand their own ceremony to appease a few of the attendees? That is ridiculous. It would be like having the bride and groom who are hearing, love the sign impaired joke, that speak English, have their ceremony done in French, which they don't speak because a handful of attendees don't speak English.
Right.
When you take ASL out of the mix, it sounds ridiculous. Why is ASL any different?
It's just another language.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Sign language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, they have my support, and I'm sure everybody else listening.
Yeah. So OP gives a comment after that response. My mom's argument has always been, quote, it's easier for you to stick an implant on your head than for everyone in the family to learn a new language. Yet, she also doesn't view ASL as a real language.
Yeah. I mean, that's been apparent the whole story. It's just
toxic.
Why is she so against it and just so, it's all denial too.
Yeah. Toxic fucking mom. Absolutely terrible.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. And this is why I said, like, I don't think all parents have their best intentions for their children.
I hear you on this one. A lot of other things came out after that statement.
Yeah. It didn't age well.
Well, you have to understand that as a parent, I look at it through my eyes. And I look at something, why would I do that? And the only thing that I could say, I did it because obviously I want to give my child the chance to have what quote normal hearing or normal life and be able to play with the other kids and hear the other kids and not have any issues with the other kids. Look, I was, learning impaired, as a child, and I got the snot kicked out of me every day of elementary school. Wasn't a day I didn't get beaten up. And nobody wanted to see that for me, but I lived it. And so if I had a child that, had some impairment and had some issues, I would do whatever I could so they wouldn't.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that she was very comfortable to go to a school and actually learn, the life of signing. That would have been better. And that community is much more sweet. They're probably less hostile than normal kids. Because I remember that Morgan would go to school, and one time she went to school, and she says, I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't like going to school. These people are horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she went through Mean Girls, and let me tell you, it wasn't fun. And they probably don't have that kind of lifestyle in these other schools, because they don't live that, that shallowness.
I don't know. I think there's bullying in any community you live in, no matter what it is. I think
That's probably true.
if you're in a community of, same like-minded peers, same ability peers, you're going to run into your own cliques and drama regardless. But I think it's just silly to not set your child up for success. And if you can put them in a community that, similar like-minded peers where they can learn and thrive, put them in that community. They're going to have to deal with the real world on a day-to-day basis. Why make their life and education any harder than it needs to be? Selfish.
Yep.
On to the next one.
Let's go.
Holly keeps kicking me.
I think she's dreaming.
See.
Rolling right along.